Infinite amount of farming is one important element of RPG, and insight skill is exactly the definition of that. Today's guide involves the very one thing even hardcore whales have to farm for, which is insight skills. First off, what is insight skill or inspiration skill? It's a type of skill that are found from trainings only. You have the chance to get a skill based on which activity you perform. By using AP that is refreshed every 12 hours, you can let 9 members perform training to collect materials and have a chance to acquire an insight skill. The leader will have an increased chance of getting an insight skill, and if you use a light bulb, it will guarantee your leader at least one insight skill. The other item is for material farming. It increases the odds of rare item drops. The activity you choose will affect two things. One is the materials you get, and the other is the insight skill you get. Except for a few insight skills, most insight skills can only be obtained from one activity. First, what type of insight skills are you aiming for? The best ones are passive skills. These skills have a blue corner at the top left corner, while active skills have red corners. The reason why passive skills are better than active skills is active skills have an activation requirement, passive skills don't have that requirement, so its effect will be active at the beginning of the song. Active skills only last for a limited amount of time, while passive skills stay active for the entire song. No matter what, passive insight skills are always better than active. One common example of a bad active is this Rainbow Rarity Voltage Up. This skill has a 30% chance to activate at the start of the life, and it gives voltage equal to 40% of appeal. This skill is bad because even when used on the best scorer in the game, Fast Setsuna, it will only award about 6000 voltage, while if I were to put the worst appeal passive, Appeal Out Small Self, it will give 139 appeal. Even if the song only has 100 combo, ignoring all song effects and multiplier, 139 appeal will give 13,900 voltage. This is how big of a difference passive and active skill is, and I'm using the worst passive appeal insight skill in the game as comparison. But if you really don't have any passive insight skill, Voltage Up active is still better than other active insight skills. By the way, Voltage Up active skill can be found in every activity. It is a skill you choose before you get any other passive insight skill in the game. Next, what kind of passive skill are you aiming for? It depends on the role of the member. There are 3 roles. One is frontliner, one is sideliner, and one is for Super Big Life, or SBL. Frontliners are members that you use in your main strategy. If you don't know what that means, go watch my video on team building. Anyway, your frontliners consist of 2 scorers and 1 healer. The best insight skill for frontliners is this passive skill, Appeal Up Medium Sane Strategy, that increases appeal of Sane Strategy by 2%. Appeal plays the most important role in your main strategy. You want as much firepower as you can get. Each member can equip 3 insight skills at limit break 4. This means every member in your main strategy can boost appeal of Sane Strategy by 6% if you manage to get 3 copies of it. Fast limited cards can equip 4 insight skills, so they can give up to 8% boost. To give you a perspective of how strong this is, the strongest passive skill for frontliners in the game gives 7% appeal boost to the strategy at max limit break. A good insight skill low up will best every passive skill in the game. That is how strong it is. There are other variants of this skill. Instead of targeting the same strategy, they target different things, such as Appeal Up Medium same school, same type, same year, and same attribute. All these skills also have weaker versions of them. Instead of Appeal Up Medium, it is Appeal Up Small, and it only gives 1% boost instead of 2%. And there is one that only targets Self. This version of Appeal Up doesn't just have small and medium version, it also has a large version. The large version increases appeal by 3% instead of 2%. But of course, Appeal Up's medium same strategy is still better because Appeal Up Self has limited coverage. All these skills, Appeal Up Same Strategy, Same Year, Same School, Same Attribute, and Self, are found in a single activity, Running. You won't be able to find this skill in another activity. Appeal Up Same Type is found in Stretching, but there is no need to aim for that because Same Strategy is better. Yeah, I know, it sucks that the best insight skill is found in the worst activity, hate you for the K-Lab, and the drop rate of those skills is only at 1% each. Because that activity gives you gold, which is the least needed resource, I suggest that you always use a light bulb so that you can get insight skill faster and perform running less often. Light bulbs can be obtained from event rewards, SBL, and DLP exchange shop. It is even a part of your daily and weekly gold rewards. But you can never have enough of this item. There is no more efficient way of farming for insight skills than constantly rerolling using this item. If you have enough SBL and DLP medals, remember to trade for light bulb because it will refresh every month. We know that Appeal Up Same Strategy is the best, but what if you can't find it? Of course, you have to settle for a weaker skill beforehand. It depends on what you have. Remember, other variations of the skill include Same School, Same Year, Same Attribute, and Self. I'm not gonna include Same Type because you're not gonna train for stretching. All of these skills can be found from Running. you should find the skill that can at least match 2 of your frontliners. If I have Setsuna, Kanan, and Mari in my front line, a build up same skill will be good for Kanan or Mari but not for Setsuna. Same here for Kanan and Mari, same attribute is not as suitable as none of their attributes are the same. If the variations do not affect 2 of your frontliners, use Appeal Up Large Self instead. So in this example, between Appeal Up's medium same attribute and Appeal Up Large Self, Appeal Up Large Self is better. That settles for frontliners. For backliners, the best skill to get is Appeal Up Medium Allies. This skill increases appeal of all members except Self by 2%. In the one strategy meta, appeal of side strategies are not that important. The members in the side strategies are just for their passive and active skills. If any one of your members manage to get 3 copies of this skill, that member automatically becomes a powerful support member. To give you a perspective, the best support passive that increases appeal of all members only gives 4.2% boost at max limit break, but 3 copies of that inside skill give 6%. 3 of this skill is stronger than any support skill in the game. But the catch is, this skill is not found in running, but in push-ups, and the drop rate of it is very low at 1%. The drop rate of other variants of Appeal Up Medium passive are also at 1%, but running has a large pool of Appeal Up passive skills, whereas you can only get Appeal Up Medium allies in push-up. If you don't get Appeal Up same strategy from running, you can settle for other variants of it, but if you don't get Appeal Up allies from push-up, you cannot settle for anything else because other skills from push-up are useless. So before you aim on getting this skill, I suggest that you aim for the weaker version of the skill, Appeal Up Small Allies. This skill is not found in push-up but in meditation, but the rarity of the skill is 1 tier lower. This skill is a common drop for meditation, a 15% drop rate. You can also find Appeal Up Small all members in meditation too, though it wouldn't make much difference because the member is in your side strategy. It also has the same rarity as all other passive skills we are aiming for, and the same drop rate of 1%, so fat chance. I don't suggest you do running for backliners, because that means doing running more often and getting more users gold, and the inside skills are too situational for backliners because it depends on what card you have. Aim for Appeal Up Small Allies first, then aim for medium. There is a document that says the combination of training you do will affect the chance you get the skills. But for me, I don't really believe that. The original website this document is from users sampling methods to get the results. They do each training combination 100 times and calculate the results based on that. The thing is, you can get very lucky on inside skills sometimes. Even though frontliner skills mentioned above only come from running, the website states that not doing running 3 times has the same chance of getting the skill you want than doing running 3 times, and I find that hard to believe. It also states that doing 2 push-up and 1 stretch has a 3% chance of getting the skill instead of 1% chance of getting Appeal Up Medium allies. It's hard to believe that these chances are suddenly tripled. I tried this combination myself 100 times. Yes, I recorded myself forcing the girls to do stretching and 2 push-up 100 times, please assume me, and I didn't get 3 of the skill, I only got it once. I uploaded it as proof that I actually did that, by the way. If you really want to watch it, link in the description. Anyway, this table just feels too inaccurate to me. I choose not to believe it. Whether you want to follow this table is up to you. The link to this table can be found in the description, but personally, I prefer doing 3 same activities than doing mixed ones. Finally, we have the Super Big Life members or SBL members. These members are useful specifically for the event SBL only. This event involves a room of 20 players and they compete to get the best voltage, skill activation and SP usage. A best performance award will be given to the player who does the best in all 3 categories. If you don't have max limit break members, you can't compete for voltage award. However, the other 2 awards, SP and skill activation awards, are relatively easy to get, even for free-to-play players. To get SP and skill activation awards, the members you are using for your main strategy of SBL team are SP gauge feelers and skill activation rate up members. Since you are most likely not going to aim for a voltage award, you don't need to boost appeal for SBL team. The best inside skill is going to be skill activation up instead. This inside skill directly contributes to getting skill activation award, and since the best way to fill up your SP gauge is through SP gauge increased skills, high skill activation rate also means you charge your SP gauge faster. Just like appeal inside skills, for SBL frontliners, you want skill activation up medium state strategy and skill activation up medium allies for sideliners. Skill activation up small gives 0.3%, medium versions give 0.5% and large version give 1% skill activation rate boost. They have the same variation of the skill just like appeal passive skills. There is no skill activation up all members medium. The large version of the skill is only available for self only. The effect can become very strong when you stack them up. You can stack up to 9 skill activation up medium same strategy plus 18 skill activation up medium allies. There's also one accessory that increases skill activation rate, Keychain. Each one increases by 5% at max skill level, 3 of it increases by 15%. Along with a maximum skill type merit of 15%, ideally, you can reach 76.5% skill activation rate and even more if you are using fast limited cards. Skill up medium same strategy is found in meditation, while other variations of it, including skill activation up medium allies, are found in vocal training. The weaker versions of them are mostly found in vocal training too. Due to the low drop rate of same strategy and allies, and you are not going to farm for skill activation up inside skill often because its effectiveness is limited to SPL only, I suggest that you don't specifically aim for skill up same strategy and allies. Include SPL frontliners in vocal training too, even if it doesn't give appeal up same strategy. Even if you don't get the same strategy, other variations of it are still pretty good. Skill activation up small allies comes from vocal training too, and just like appeal up small allies, it has a lower rarity and a higher drop rate of 15%. Since it is so easy to get, you should at least farm for skill activation up small allies for all of your SPL members, including frontliners, before aiming for better variants. Just now I mentioned that before you aim for appeal up medium allies, do meditation for your sideliners beforehand to get appeal up small allies. If you want to do meditation, you should do it not just for the purpose of getting skill activation up same strategy, but also for appeal up small allies. The training team for meditation should be frontliners of SPL team and backliners of normal team. In one way, farming for skill activation inside skills are better than farming for appeal up because the materials dropped from meditation and vocal training are very useful. But on the other hand, the effectiveness of this inside skill is only limited to SPL. If you can already S-rank all songs and are confident of your team's firepower, then prepare your team for SPL and go for skill activation. Just in case you don't know which members are good for sideline and SPL, active skills that can increase SP gauge or skill activation are good. Some members with good active skill for SPL are Happy Parade, Hanayo, and Fast Swimsuit Yo because of their good active skill that increases skill activation rate by 10% when switching strategy. There is no passive skill in the game that increases SP gauge or skill activation, so you can only rely on a good active skill. In the end, you will have 4 training teams. The first one is frontliners, and they will be running for appeal up medium same strategy. The second one is backliners, they will be pushing up for appeal up medium allies. The third team is the SPL team. Both SPL frontliners and backliners will do vocal training for skill activation up. The fourth team is for meditation, which includes SPL frontliners and normal backliners. You will be aiming for skill activation up medium same strategy for SPL frontliners and appeal up small allies for normal backliners. If you can consistently get voltage award in SPL, you probably don't need to farm for skill activation rate up at all, so you only need 2 teams. Here's the summary of this video. Passive skills are always better than active skills. The best passive skill for frontliners is appeal up medium same strategy, appeal up medium allies for sideliners. Appeal up medium same strategy can be found in running, along with most variation of appeal up medium, while appeal up medium allies is found in push up. I recommend using Leader Insight Guarantee for running. Because of how hard it is to get appeal up medium allies, I recommend doing meditation to get appeal up small allies as it has lower rarity and it drops much easier. For SBL, do vocal training for your SBL frontliners and backliners, and do meditation for SBL frontliners and normal backliners. That's all for this video. I'd like to thank Kash again for providing the info I need to make this video. Her website has many useful data of the game. Make sure to really check out her website, link in the description. This video is also made possible thanks to my supporter Sunako. If you want to support me on Ko-fi, you can do it, link in the description below. Donate 1 coffee and I will personalize your team for you. Donate 5 coffees and you will get to choose which video you want me to do next. I also speak Chinese, so if you are more comfortable in speaking that language, feel free to do so. Follow my Twitter and Reddit accounts and stay tuned for more All Stars content.